lights. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see. He's got more follows than my boy Eric Icy. Opinions on Magnus, hands, and Karyakin. Who cheated who, which engine that he hacking. He got blocked by short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM, blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. So Joe got into the business, stopped the app sickness, daily practices rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for elo farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis with lengthy game analysis. With sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo.
Welcome to the dojo.
Check out Joe, he's a Reddit bro, likes to edit posts, and he starts to gloat when he gets the most of votes or likes. Yeah, he's really hyped, really psyched, cause the crowd is really tight and the work is really light. His training plan is the first thing your eyes see. He's got more follows than my boy Eric Icy. Opinions on Magnus, hands, and Karyakin. Who cheated who, which engine that he hacking. He got blocked by short, ignored by Dvorak, but he can't be wrong. He scored a like from Truong. He's got lightning attacks on GM, blunders and gaffes. True, not over the board, it's only the other chat. Still his 7-year plan ensures the last laugh. Distractions detract from any actual actions. Excuses are useless, he rues his inaction. Awaits satisfaction, the status of Magnus. He bought 50 books and opened up 10. Fools ought to read Psalms, not my system. He's got 30 alt accounts on every site around. Chessable courses keep looking cheaper by the pound. He got 22 databases and 36 engines, 25 chess sets, and a massive clock collection. He bought merch from Gotham, Bra and Naka, but his game history looked like some chess copy pasta. A GM coach that he don't listen to, and if you think it is, then yes, my friend, yes, this is you. But that all changed one bright sunny day when a friend said, hey, don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. Sweatwork's what I believe, ratings what I'll receive. Don't you know, welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I stepped away from easy. Sweatwork's what we need, G. If sweatwork's what I believe, ratings So Joe got into the business, stopped the absentness, daily practice his rhythm, he even upped his fitness. He found sparring cathartic, postmortems charming. With the plus equal minus, he was armed for ELO farming. With notepad and pen, he built up calluses, escape rating paralysis. With lengthy game analysis, with sensei direction, he sold his collection. Read one classic and that was fantastic. Now he locked to the spot where they checking off boxes. Young prodigies and some wily old foxes. 3.5 points per box, that's shocking progress. Goal nearing, cohort cheering, Joe doesn't hear it. He's monotasking, no relaxing, concentration maxing. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. One book, one board, one set, one thought. Work will work, will work, work, never stop. Now occasionally, he peeps the world of the tweet and laughs when he sees the player that he used to be. Blank face staring, complex plans comparing while he's dojo training. Hours a day playing out positions, transpositions, and growing his board vision. Transition from poser to player, focus without a care. He leaves them complaining in his dust, staying with their week-old ratings. Blast past his week-old rating, each week's a new occasion. He never takes vacation, the work is entertaining, the growth he's maintaining. And now Joe is explaining, hey, don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I give up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, rating's what I'll receive. Don't you know? Welcome to the dojo, it's good to grow. Welcome to the dojo, I gave up on the easy. Sweatwork's what we need you, if sweatwork's what I believe, rating's what I'll receive. Welcome to the dojo!
All right, my friends, here we are. Dojo Training Program graduates. We got a lot. So we have a promotion running. I'll announce it actually some. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go, hardly anyone's here anyway. And can we get an exclam, a Twitch exclam for 4.0? 4.0. I don't know how to do it. Maybe someone out there knows how to do it. So we are running this thing. I'll tell you what it is. And every year when we redo our site, we give a discount. And since it was 4.0, we were like 40% off for the first month. So we have some people coming in doing that. You can too. You just sign up using code DOJO. I also have a special technological thing going on today. So that's going to be interesting as well. We'll get into that. All right. Alex is here, 4.0. Yes, sir. Oh, Alex, I've been training for the Murph, buddy. Those strength guys, you guys wouldn't be into it, but that thing is getting me hard, buddy. I could barely move my bicep the other day from all the pull-ups. Oh, my God. All right, let's get into it. Let's go with Mo. Boom. This is the beta site. We'll talk about why it's special. 19 from Switzerland. Started playing chess this year. Always been fascinated with the game. Great. Okay. So you can see Mo has been very busy basically through this year and has clearly made it with 492. Let's give him a follow. And so this is great. I remember I looked at Mo's business before for a variety of other reasons, because I think it was because he had done a lot of work and hadn't graduated. So I was like interested in him. And so really cool to see that he did it. Okay, so from Switzerland, aus der Schweiz. Oh man, clubs. Now Mo, maybe we can get a Switzerland club. Switzerland club going on. All right, games. I'm real pumped to see. We got a thing coming on here. We're gonna see if it works. In any case, let's click on this one. Boom. Toshiro. And now let's just see if it's up. I think it's up. Okay, let's just look. Oh, I'm not seeing it, Bose. Oh no. Okay, I just tell you what I'm hoping to see. This is the beta, and Jack told me that we had our new time usage rating up. This time usage, by the way, looks fairly reasonable. I guess you could definitely say they both move too fast. But hold on, I gotta ask Jack. Let's go over here. In beta, but I don't see the time ratings. Am I looking in the wrong spot? Oh. All right, hopefully he'll get back to me. And this is Mo's game we're going to take a look at. If we look over here at the time graph, it is very evenly distributed, and both players, usually at this level, we don't get this kind of graph. The problem is they're actually moving significantly faster than they need to be. And that's more typical of this situazione. Wait, where is my... hold on. Hold on. Sorry about that. Window capture. No, how come you not showing? There it is. Sorry about that. Sometimes when I just start off the show, it doesn't work as I would like it to. Here's the game review. Again, I have to like click on it or something. I don't know. Well, I always have to do this at the beginning of every show. Why? I don't know. Let's try that again. Boom. Great. So, there we go. All right, Jack has told me something. Let's see what he said. Okay. Let's just say, don't know how to do it. How to do it, can't right now. Okay, so let's go and put this in here. We got fancy things coming up. We're gonna look at this game. Boom, F4. Fine, F4. F4, by the way, just a little weird. Knight C3, weird. Knight F6, beautiful. And he says he played Knight F6 too fast. It's hard to imagine Knight F6 is a wrong move. That's a funky move. Good. 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 I want to commend you, Mo, on moving, just developing your pieces. You didn't have to do anything that special. You're just killing this guy. Moving the bishop a second time. Again, at this level, you are going to see these people move the piece again and again and again. And I like that you noted, this is great annotations, by the way, with castles that you could have just continued developing. And notice the cool thing about it is if white then takes, your rook is ready to start harassing over here, right? Okay. So when you took, I want you to see that you developed white's queen. Now you're still doing great, but we lost a developing move in that exchange. And this I definitely don't like. There's no reason to take the pin piece. That thing's not going anywhere. Okay, good. 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 And he castles long. And then this is allowing a fork. Very good. And then that isn't it. That isn't it, is it, Mo? No, it isn't. Bang, thank you very much. Now, one of the things I just want, we see this all the time on the grad show, is that the positional stuff is important. But what decides the games in the under 1000s is somebody just completely not seeing something obvious, right? I'm going to guess, for example, the player saw that we were forking the rooks and was like, oh, my rooks are forked, you know? And then he's like, I'm going to get out of dodge, force the knight to take one of my rooks. Then he misses the big one, though, right? All right, so now we just want to make sure you finished him off. Fine. 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 Thank you very much. Why didn't we take it? Yeah, take on A2. Weird. We want to take on A2. Okay. I would just take the knight with the rook. Fine. No, that was no good. What are we doing? What are we doing? Now, this is the one move, where I feel, highly critical, right? Don't give up your pieces. Come on now. Good. Okay. Check. Okay. It's getting a little spicy here, by the way. And rook g7 was worse than fe. Fe gives us a little bit more grief. Very good. Good. Yeah. All right. Now we're just winning again. All right. So that was a little messy. And we want to be a little cleaner in our technique. Very nice. Okay. Mo, I want to stress, as I do on all these grad shows for the under 1000s, okay, there are 3 things that you need to do. You need to develop your coconuts. You're pretty good at that. Move slower. It could be better, right? That could be better. And the biggest thing is not hanging your coconuts. Both of the other 2 things will help you not hang your coconuts. It is easier not to hang stuff when your own stuff is developed, right? When your pieces are coordinated. And of course, if you move slower, you will see more things. Okay, so well done. We'll mark this as reviewed. We'll get out of here. And next up, we have Gravy. Let's go over here, grad show. Gravy joined fairly recently, but has not done that much work. We're going to give Gravy a follow. And Gravy is also almost ready to graduate again. Clubs? No clubs. Games? No games. So, Gravy, welcome to the dojo. Log some work. Put a game up. Next up, we have Kitora, who I remember because Kitora has graduated many times here, who wants to start late in life and dedicate. I remember Kitora. And dedicate about 20. I remember this profile. This is amazing, you guys. Until I reached GM. Now, the last time I was like, Kitora, you're going a little fast for me. But look at her, dude. She slammed up to 795. And she's been putting in the work. She's putting in the work. So, she missed her weekly goal, but she is doing a lot. And she's graduating just like all the time. So her weekly goal, by the way, is 20. And so last week she had 18. The week before that, she had 7.5. So this is fascinating here. 20 hours a week is real. Far Eastern Kitora can graduate again next week too. And I assume she will. Look at that. She's already 795. She's got a tactics rating, which is right in there of 767. Clubs. No clubs. Tell us where you are, Kitora. No games. I remember that. Kitora has yet to do a game. Very simple, Kitora. You are moving up the ladder. It's great. Really happy to see it. I love the dedication. And the questions I have are, is this 20 hours sustainable? And, you're flying up, so I'm sure it feels euphoric. At some point, you're going to need to do game analysis, right? And at some point, there's going to be a plateau. At some point, it's going to hurt, right? And then, and then it becomes a question of character and resolve at that point. But for now, I think for the next span of time, you're going to be continuing this euphoric rise, and I'm cheering you on. All right, so let's continue. Kitora, give us a game. Next up is Tim's. Tim says, loving the program. It makes me accountable and provides plenty of material that I think is helping my understanding of chess and improving my game. Importantly, the leading reading lists resources are pitched at my level, and I'm hoping I can absorb more complicated material as I progress. I definitely feel that I am thinking differently. very hard to articulate, but I think I'm thinking and analyzing deeper, applying greater logic and recognizing patterns. I also like that I can create custom tasks. I can record the time and invest in other chess-related activities that aren't captured by the program. Finding it a bit tricky to find a training partner and play against others in the dojo. I'm in New Zealand, work full-time, have 2 wonderful and very boisterous children, and have to manage lots of extracurricular activities. Uh-oh, we're about to get invaded, I think. You can hear the sirens in the distance. I have a feeling they're coming my way, my friends. They're coming my way. Okay. In fact, this might be my moment. This might be my moment to go grab that banner that Kostya was dealing with here. Hold on. I'm going to go grab the banner. So how do I do this? Copy image. Go over here. And then I go... wait, I think I should download the image because I don't understand copy image. That's too advanced for me. So save image. Okay. And now we're going to go boom, image, browse. There we go. All right, so this is our Dojo 4.0 code. I'm going to put this over here. Let's make it a touch smaller. And so every year we do some kind of promotion when we launch the new version of the site. Next year, we can't call it 5.0. That's too much. So it'll be hopefully the last of this 4.0 stuff. But there it is. There's the code. Just use that code when you sign up. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. So let's continue. And we are talking about Tim here. Tim in New Zealand. Someday I'll go to New Zealand. Okay. As you can see, Tim is cranking it. Right? He is cranking it, and he just made it above 600. Fantastic. Right? He's done some tactics. Says his tactics rating's looking pretty good. And is there a New Zealand club? Come on, Tim, make that New Zealand club. That's what I want to see. Then we got some games. All right, beautiful. This is a fairly recent one. Bang. Now, again... well, the times are not here. That's okay. We'll mark this as reviewed, and we're going to go game review. Again, Jack has amazing new time usage thing. We've been working on this for weeks. I thought it was going to be here. Maybe he'll give me an update here. This is definitely incorrect. Good move. Good move. Good and simple chess. Bishop e2, and you say bishop h3. I don't think it's a mistake, okay? One thing I'll say about it is that you are developing very quickly by taking this knight. So I think that's a good thing. g6, okay, that's okay. Fine, fine, fine. Weird. Why is it weird? Because he's not developing his stuff. Good move. Good move. Chess is so easy. Good move. c6 now, or e6. Good move. Good move. Look at this. We're just killing this guy. Yeah. All right. No problemito. Fine. I would prefer, by the way, it's a small thing, I would prefer knight d7. Good. Well, I mean, it's hard to complain, right? Hard to complain. There it is, finally, knight d7. That wasn't it. In general, one of the basic ways to win these games at this level is you take their coconuts, you trade it down, and if they want to trade, we'll say thank you very much, and now it's just a mop-up operation. Very simple and nice. Okay, so Tim, that was great, dude. That was great. One of the things we can see here is your opponent didn't put up resistance, and you took advantage of it. So this is great. And this is a known fail, I guess, in the opening, but yeah, you played it great. Absolutely. Okay, I like that a lot. Let's continue. Uh-oh, my business. My business has flown. Why did it do that? All right. Okay. Next up, we got easy. Most helpful things were Jesse's comments on being stingy with pieces and just spending lots of time doing tactics and playing games. Sticking with the task master, go back to the grad show, buddy. Helped me improve fastest with what's important to my current level. Now, what is the task master? Well, that is where we tell you exactly what to do. It's one of the features of 4.0. So let's get into easy over here. Easy joined pretty recently, you can see, and is crushing it over here. 632 parabolic curve, and looks like he hasn't done any games in analysis, but we're going to go look around here a little bit. No clubs. Tell us where you are, Easy. He's got some games. He's got some games. Okay. Easydev. I like that one. So let's go look at Easydev. Oh, okay. So this amazing thing that we create, I helped, Jack helped, Jalp helped. He says that he pushed it and it should be there in about 10 minutes. So we're about to see a magical time graph appear over here. Tian, I don't know where Bruce is. Don't hunt him down though. Okay, the guy's busy. It's probably not personal. Now, one thing I like about Easydev's game here is that he used far more time than his opponent. Very good slope. His opponent not using time. One of the things that we've really tried to communicate at the dojo. Oh wait, Christ, show him the time graph, buddy. Is that using your time is one of the most important features in the lower cohorts. Also, though, we're going to see in the higher cohorts, some people often have a problem of moving too slow. And this new time rating is going to reflect that. So it's going to be pushed in about 10 minutes, but maybe we'll even come back to this one. I would say the Black's rating here is close to GM level for how Black used their time here. White's is going to be, maybe 1,900, something like that. Okay, now, a mild critique that I want to give here for easy, all right, is that this is not enough notes. And one thing I want to say is when you just begin going over your games, it can be difficult because you might not think there's a bunch of questions to ask, but I haven't looked at your game yet, but I'm going to assume that when I go over it, I'm going to find a bunch of questions that you should be thinking about when you're reviewing the game. Yeah, there we go, Queen H5. Obviously a very funky move. Nakamura experimented with this terrible move ages ago. It's not a good move. This is not a good move, though, because it's blocking your bishop. Fine. Weird, because it's not developing. Weird, because you can just block it with a pawn. Terrible, not developing. So these are the kind of moves I want you to criticize, right? D5. It's a thought. You could play knight d7, g6 too. Good. Okay. Is queen trapped here? I should have looked for lines to force a trade of her. Maybe. I think it's fine though. I don't see the queen being trapped. So e4, and now you blunder with d4. Again, this is how the games are decided when somebody gives away their coconuts for free. Now, in general, we don't want to move the pawn if we're going to give squares to the pieces. So this knight is terrible at the moment, but we're giving squares to that knight when we move the pawn. We need to get this bishop out. I don't care whether you do it like this or whether you do it like this, but it's got to be one of those plans. Okay. Here we go. E4. Here's our mistake. Okay. White has to be a little careful with his knighty over there. Castles. I would prefer king d7, developing and touching the knight. Okay, maybe rook e1 might be better. Okay. Okay, I like what you're... Okay, we don't like that. So there's a lot of questions here. Why don't we like bishop b8? It's passive. Let him take the thing, you know, rather than make your pieces terrible. Okay. Now, notice white's just dancing around. They're not doing anything. I don't understand that. Okay. Blunder. Bang. Bang. And now, can you play rook takes e5? Your opponent, by the way, is not thinking. Now, you are going to play many opponents here that play exactly like this. They play too fast. They make a lot of rudimentary threats. And here, we just need to think. Here, you have loads of time. You just need to take this thing, look, because your rook, which is the only question mark, is protected by the Bishovsky right there. Okay. Good move. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bishop c7. Okay, good. Oh, no. Rook d1, and he didn't notice. Oh, he didn't notice, dude. Oh, no. I like your trading. Let's call it a philosophy. It's a good philosophy. Very nice. I assume mate's coming here. Very nice with the mate. Okay. Great. Great. Lumbra, we're about to see the time rating. Right now, I'm in the beta, and we are going to kind of... In the beta, we are testing it, and it's going to show up in a couple minutes. And so when it shows up, we'll get our first look at it. All right, next up. We have I Wish I Were Decent, who I remember from many grad shows. And Wish We Were Decent says, really excited, as always, to graduate to the next cohort, and I'm starting to see real returns on the investment of time and energy that I have spent. I think I am currently in a bit of a plateauish period because I am learning a ton, but I'm still struggling to implement in my games. I have heard a lot about this sort of delay in actualizing learned knowledge, so I'm not letting it discourage me. Rather, I am, I think, forging ahead with a positive attitude and looking forward to finally playing in a real OTB, as opposed to the local monthly 25 with 5-second delay. It is hilarious to me that 25.5 is way too fast for me because I used to think 15.10 was way too long. The dojo is clearly rubbing off on me. Thanks, everyone, for your help. Okay, beautiful. So, I wish I were decent. Look at that heat map. He's doing really great. It looks like, see, it's funny. It doesn't say what the weekly goal is. Maybe it's 7 hours or something like that. Now, very nice recent progress that you can see here. Tactics rating is below. Maybe that's just because he hasn't done any of the tests or anything recently. All right. And his daughter and son are doing it. Nice. ADHD, Toledo, Ohio. Beautiful. And we got some games. All right. So, 60. Oh, this is pretty fast. Maybe the time thing will be up already. Is it up? It's not up yet. So we're just a couple more minutes and then this thing is going to be pushed. Now, let's say the obvious. His opponent is not thinking really at all. And he is. And by the way, he's only gone to 14 moves. So it's totally reasonable for the amount of time that he spent. Okay, so let's go game review. And here we go. Fine. Poor. Losing a pawn. Thank you very much. Boom. Simple chess. Mouse slip strikes again. So right, it looks like we blundered some stuff. He writes, I knew that this was not the move I wanted to play, but as far as mouse slips go, this was one of the better ones I've ever seen. Okay, so far more natural and safer would be knight takes e5. And now we have a problem of like maybe we just hung a coconut, right? That's the question. All right, so here we go. Bishop f3, ef3, and now the move that I would like you to analyze is queen takes d5. So this is the way it would go. Queen d5, knight d5, knight here, king here, knight here, bishop d6. And the question is there some way for you to not lose the knight on a8? Right, he's going to move a knight out, and then the knight's going to be hanging. So the question for the analysis is, what can you do and what's the evaluation? And that's the reason why, first of all, it's complicated. Not easy for me to assess just immediately. And knight takes e5, of course, was better. This is a fail. Why? Because he's moving too fast. Check to the miserable king. Okay, good move. Good move. Good move. Very nice move. Check to the miserable king. Oh, baby. Okay, very nice. They don't develop. They don't develop. They hang their coconuts. They move too fast. This is what you get. And I hope you told them, welcome to the dojo. Yeah? All right. Very well done. And we're going to continue here. We have TCAL. TCAL's graduated before. We're going to hit the grad show thing over here. We got a streamer here. TCAL on Twitch. Beautiful. 7:05. He is doing some work. A little bit intermittent. Okay. And, good. Clubs. Maybe there's a Twitch streamer club. Chicago, Chess Dads and Moms. Great. And let's see if we got a game here. TCAL. Boom. Is the time graph thing up yet? Not yet. Not yet. Now, one of the things I want to show that's cool, if we go to this time graph here, we definitely want to say that TCAL moved a bit too fast, okay, as did his opponent. But I really like that TCAL took the effort to put in the human eval, and that's his evaluation that he has going on there, where he starts like he feels he got a small advantage, then it was worse, then it was toast, and then his opponent blundered somehow, and then we're up here as winning. So beautiful thing to do. Okay. And now let's get into it. He says, I've been playing way too fast, so I started the game trying to write down every move. I am planning on opening with the London. Okay, good. Poor, obviously. Okay, so this move is born out of terror. It's born out of terror. I kind of get it why you did it, though you're afraid of knight b4. A way to develop without giving him, to develop as well as stopping knight b4 would be to play bishop d3. Good. A little funky. And you like this position. I think black is fine now because black is now up one tempo in development. And it shouldn't be that way because he lost a tempo with a6. So notice you lost tempi when you played c3, and also knight e5 lost you a tempo in the opening too. Okay, now we're down, 2 tempi. Castles. h4, now we're down 3 tempi. Okay, now the challenge for black is to find a way to hurt you. And this looks superficial. It's not necessarily easy to decide what we should do. A default jump GM move would be to play c5, just to open up the position a little bit, gain some space. Good move, I think, anyway. Whoa, that wasn't it. Okay. This loses you a piece, buddy. This loses you a piece. This isn't just a pawn, TCAL. You had to take that knight. Oh, no. So, totally weird. Of course, what's the obvious thing? Black on e4 should play knight takes d3 check, and then take this thing, and it's all the way over. Okay. 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 Good moves by black. I mean, black's basically winning. Check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. Queen h6. Black is completely winning. They're up 1,000 pawns and their king is stronger. Okay. Poor. Just take it. Rook takes e6, by the way, I like more because the rook is active there. Okay. Weird. He should be thinking about queen g7. And now you could play rook takes e7. I don't know, probably rook takes e6. Queen g7. They got to go back, buddy. Got to go back. This person moving too fast. Check to the miserable king. Very nice. I think queen e5 is probably mate too. Check. Check. Uh-oh. 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 Very nice. Okay. Well done in a variety of ways. And I think there's somebody in the chat saying we got to be anti-London. Well, what we got to be is anti-giving away time. So one thing that's very easy to fix, okay, is don't give away time. Don't give away time. Don't give away time. Don't give away time, right? That's how we get ourselves into trouble. Okay, good. So, we still got him. Why did we get him, by the way? Because he moved too fast. Because he moved too fast. All right, next up we got Musheen. Musheen doesn't tell us anything. First graduation. He does have a really mean-looking, kind of scary baby looking at us. Joined way back in the day. Way back in the day. So maybe an intermittent user. I think one of the things that's interesting about the people in the dojo is, you know, if you joined way back in the day, the site would have been harder to use, right? And now it's every day gets a little cooler. And I think a lot of people coming back are like, dang, this is looking good, Bose. This is looking good. Okay. Clubs, nothing. Musheen, tell us something about yourself, buddy. Games. He's got a game, though. Oh, Stinky Little Ghost. Stinky Little Ghost is around the dojo. Maybe this is a dojo game. Okay. So, time. Oh, it's still not there yet. Jack's magical thing. The time here, that looks very reasonable. If anything, White moved, when you got 30 minutes, it looks like he got himself in a little bit of time pressure at the very end there. Okay. Game review. I should have shown the time graph, but I think you could see it out of the corner there. A little weird. Boom. Fine. 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 You know I don't like it. Good. And then I don't like that. So the whole idea of this g4 business is to get spicy with h4, to try to trap the bishop. Taking on g6 is going to activate the rook. And now the whole G4 idea doesn't make sense. One of the problems, actually, someone was saying earlier about the London. I'm against the Yobava London for lower rated players because they don't understand what they're doing, right? And the most important thing, rather than the name of some opening, is not moving your pieces twice. And so here, knight e5 moved a piece twice. There's actually a deep idea behind it, but you didn't know what it was. Then you're going to do this. Oh no, but moving the Vel pieces twice. Bishop d6, now we're down a million tempi. Queen b6, black's making solid moves. a3, very tricky move. And I want to say that's GM level, dude. I mean, that's real GM level. I remember when I first saw that trick, I was like, dang. I think Komsky or somebody played it. And, yeah. Now, it doesn't actually work. And the reason it's not going to work in this position is because your development is so poor, right? And your opponent actually plays a nice move here with knight g4. So the point is very deep, actually, queen b2, knight a4. I don't know how he's found it. I don't know, man. That's especially for a under 1,000 cohort trick. That's a real deal. That's a real deal. All right, knight g4, knight a4 check. And so now black has won a pawn. He can do a variety of things. Knight f6. Bishop e2. Okay, finally we're developing a little bit. Knight e4, b4. Now black should definitely think longer here. Knight takes c3 looks like a winning position to me. Queen c7. Black's still winning. h5. The problem is you're not developing. f6, reasonable. Black wins another pawn. Oh, now we just lost a piece. Okay. Castles. Good. We're totally toast. We're beyond toast. Dang, rook takes d4. Your opponent, by the way, stinky little ghost, member of the dojo, playing some very strong moves. That was clever. That was very clever. So, like, you were in the process of getting mated, and you were like, I'm going to town here, and your opponent played rook takes h6 pretty quickly, whereas gh6, I don't think you can actually do anything to him. But then you got him here. This is great. So you made an amazing comeback. And you write, pretty happy that I managed to equalize before running out of time. But you're going to lose the bishop, right? On e2. Maybe not. The party might not be over here because we go king b2, knight, and then maybe this is a move where we're claiming that the knight is gone. Could be. Maybe black has to find this beauty here. I don't know. I don't know. Well, that was a very, in some ways, very high level game. And the thing for Musheen to say is once you start getting religion on development, you know, Sneaky Little Ghost might still beat you because Sneaky Little Ghost is playing some stunning moves. But once you get religion about tempo, development in the opening, your life is going to get easier. I promise. Okay, so mark that as reviewed. Continue. And now we have Adam graduating again, bows. Again, classical rating still provisional, but still, both rapid and classical are climbing despite playing games every day, and both are above this cohort now. I'm on a hot streak. My game against Manuel Pedro was not perfect, but I used my time, developed my pieces, and played slow, calculated moves. They weren't all perfect, but I got the W.
Taking your advice carefully, Jesse, and my rating just continues to climb as I continue to win and on a serious hot streak. Thanks again for the dojo. Nice. Well, Far Eastern in the chat is saying that we got to make them play 30 plus 30. And by the time you get to where Adam is, they do have to play 30 plus 30, right? But what we've discovered is that it takes a little bit of muscular experience with using time. It takes a lot of energy. You have to get used to it. And so I think we did a very clever thing by saying not everybody needs to be playing 90-30. And the lower cohorts, as you move up, you slowly get more and more time controls that are higher. Okay, here's Adam, a hero in the dojo. You can see he's crushing it there. And his normalized lead chess dude is 1286. Chess time, it's all kind of all over the place. It's kind of all over the place. Okay. So, all right. Who knows where he is? That's a huge difference. Now, I will say lead chess, especially in the lower cohorts, can be weird. We just got to say it can be weird. But I understand why Adam did this. I mean, it's because it starts you off at like 1,400. Starts everybody off at 1,400. That's this weird inflation thing that it's got going on. But Adam, regardless of all that, you are clearly doing the work. And it looks great, dude. It looks phantasmal. You can see you've been on it every day, basically, this year. Fantastic. Okay, clubs. Got the chess. Oh, dude, he's in all kinds of clubs, dude. All right, beautiful. And now we'll take a look at L Games. Did he have a game he wanted me to look at? Maybe Manuel Pedro. There he is, Manuel Pedro, 1510. That's a little fast, All right, but let's go, Manuel Pedro. We'll mark it as reviewed. We'll take a look. Here's the time graph. Jack's beautiful thing is not yet available. Okay, so this is 15 plus 10. Both sides end up using really their time. So we're not going to complain about the time. All right, Manuel Pedro. Let's see how it went. Oh, don't forget to change the scene, Bows. So far, so good. And now 94. I think you can take on D4. Yep, I think you can take that bad boy. Okay. By the way, Far Eastern, if you're in a round robin that has a standard time control for 30-0, it is completely acceptable to agree with your opponent to do a longer time control. That goes for higher cohorts too, right? Like, I don't know, in the 1200 cohort, if you guys decide you want to play 90-30, fine, totally fine. All right, so I think we missed a chance there. And this is poor, Adam, and I want you to see why. It's because you've blocked in your bishop on c8. And I think a good way to understand the Caro, actually you wrote it too. A good way to understand the Caro is really, it's like you're just trying to get the bishop out. That is priority numero uno here. Poor. Why? Because you're not developing. You already made a pawn move to get that guy out. Your opponent's playing reasonable moves, by the way. Spicy. H4. Okay. He's got other moves he could do, of course. Bishop G5. Now, this is a poor move because now you could play H6 and he would have to he'd have to give you one of the bishops. Queen D6. Bishop C2. C5. Reasonable. Okay. Your opponent's, but he's laying it down in some ways. And you're right, I don't really understand this move. All of the threatened squares are protected, so the only move here is to either go back or retreat to D3. I think knight e5 is pretty good in that he is freeing f3 for the queen, which will look at f7. Let me get rid of some of these things. It's preventing, making this kind of harder. And your priority here, numero uno, is to fix your bishop. Now, could you play b5? It would be very scary because of that queen. No, I think the answer is no. You cannot because of queen f3. So knight e5 prevents b5. Queen c7. Now queen f3 would again prevent it. g3. Why is that a good move? Oh, so notice what he's doing. He's like, I'm going to hit h2. No, you're not hitting h2. You're not doing anything with h2. This is a good point that white has played pretty good until this g3 move. And what we should say is that queen f3 is a good example of a move which prevents black from moving. First of all, it forces the knight to declare its intentions. But second of all, there's no puedo over here. Okay, g3, I don't like it. Knight d7. I do like the spirit of that move. Get that knight out of there, buddy. Okay, knight f3. And now we really want to play b6. f6. Nah. Okay. And now knight e5. Notice what you're not doing is you're not fixing your bishop on c8. We need to fix that thing. Good move. Queen e2 is simple enough. Rook d5. You got to play knight takes f3. Now what is this little sign here? Variation suggested by Dumsky. Okay. Why is it giving? Oh, Dumsky might be his, that little Discord symbol might be his symbol. That's cool. So we definitely want to take, and then we will play e5. That's what we want to do. Okay. And now he can damage our business. You could, yeah. He should take on e5. Okay. Weird. King b, that doesn't do anything. b6, good move. Finally, we're getting closer to getting our bishop out. It looks like a blunder. Rook takes c6. Thank you very much. So again, your opponents are going to hang stuff. There were some positional moves your opponent made earlier that were fantastic, and now he's just hanging all his stuff. And then knight takes e5, I guess, right? You could have taken it and said check to the miserable king, too. Weird. Check to the miserable king. Here you're doing great, you know. How about queen d5? Good. Take it. Oh. Check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. Check to the miserable king. Oh, we missed mate. Bishop h6. That's still pretty brutal. Now look, here's where the Polgar mates will help you. You know, bang, killing him. Okay, I'm certain that we were running a little low on time, but here we definitely wanted to finish him off a little easier. We end up doing it anyway. Huge win. Definitely one of the hardest games to claw out of, he says. Now, why did it happen? I want to stress that the problems all started from e6 because, by the way, you're not lost here. It's just a bad position. And it got worse and worse, though, because there were so many positions where you just didn't get the bishop out. And because your bishop on c8 was crying, the rook on a8 was crying. Okay? And I think that's, you know, this kind of thing to fix it is easier than fixing tactical stuff. Tactical stuff is just harder. Not that it's not important, it's just easier for this to be fixed in your game. Okay. So, we'll mark that and we'll get out of here. Boom. Next up, we have Habiki. Habiki says, focusing on classical and reviewing my games has been very helpful. I've learned a lot about the causes of my blunder and the flaws in my thinking. Fix the scene, buddy. I also found the opening principles video useful. Now, I realize it is okay to move my knight twice in the opening, but I am aware that it slows my development. Beautiful. Having that knowledge allows me to evaluate each position, determine my goals, and then execute. Well, there it is. There it is. So I'm going to give Habiki a follow. Started very recently. Ready to graduate again. Look at that huge gain. A couple days in the dojo and he's just flying up there. All right, so that's all looking good. Just joined. Clubs, adult improver. We got some games already too. Great. Okay, 30-0 game. Let's give it a click. Rated classical. Still, Jack. Let me just poke at him a little bit. Still don't see it. Because that was 36 minutes ago. All right. So when we look at L time graph, we're going to see that dude spent his time and black did not. Hopefully we're going to see black getting crushed. That's what they deserve. Okay, let's do it over here. So far, so good. Okay, now your opponents will play moves like this on the regular, right? They're just not going to be developing their coconuts. Good. And again, why did they do it? Because they're terrified of some kind of knight g5. But here, the threat's worse than the execution. You could defend it with bishop e7, for example. Okay, now. Good. Can't be wrong. a6. Now, let me just, I say it all the time. It's just important to stress. Your opponents will continue to do this until you get above, I don't know, 1100, 1200. That's a dirty threat. I was considering it, but like if he just plays knight e6, are we really doing anything? He goes queen e7. Check to the knight. And now we just play bishop takes c5. Oh, we missed it. Bummer. So bishop c5 is crushing because dude's got to recapture, and then this little problemito and casito is going down. Okay, black has to play knight takes d5 here. Queen c5, blunder, good move. And now the very simple and strong rook fd1. And you say, should have moved a pawn. During game, I thought a rook would help defend that pawn, but knight and bishop already were, so it was not needed. Now, when you say should have moved a pawn, I don't quite know what you mean. For my little 2 cents, rook ad1 is the most natural because when you look at the two rooks, it's not clear where this rook's going to go. Now, whereas this rook, if it had stayed there and the other one had come over, well, maybe he might find use on e1 someday. d6, that's frisky. I don't understand bishop b3. I know why you did it, though, right? You're terrified of him taking your coconuts. Nah, he's not in a position to be taking your coconuts. g5, terrible move. What's his problem? He's not developing. Check to the miserable king. And then he just resigned. Okay. So, your opponents will not develop. They'll make moves like h6, a6, g5. And we should expect to find things like queen f6 forking his business when they do. Cross online, thank you. Okay, we're moving forward. Next up, we got loads of people coming up here. Dang. Next up, we got Cebu. No one says anything in the next little stretch, though. And Cebu looks like they just joined. They're up to 920, so they could graduate again. I have a feeling maybe we're not going to see anything. Oh, we got a game. Okay. So, by the way, when you're up to 800, 900, you should already be playing a slightly longer time control, I believe 30-30. And I'm sorry I had my little thing set up wrong there. Let's go look at time graph first. Mr. Cebu, Baos, you have a very typical problem. If you solve this problem, your game will improve dramatically. You are not thinking at all, right? Okay, very simple to fix. Well, that's not that simple, but of the skills to learn, it's right there in front of you. Okay, game review. E3, a little weird, good move. Fine, 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 fine. You're doing great. Good, good. A little weird, C5. Good move. Good move. You're playing great. Genius. Genius. I think that's GM level. Okay. B4. I don't know what else the guy wants to do. And now you need to find a way to come after his king. And here we're going to need some creativity, really, to do it. And it's not necessarily super easy. You play bishop e6. I would prefer bishop f5. Yeah, you got a couple other ideas too. Bishop e6, queen d7, okay. Snip snop, too early for him to take, no need. f3, very frisky, that's your side of the board. If our bishop were on f5, this would be a little harder for him to pull off. Okay, reasonable. Terrible, just hanging his coconuts. Boom, boom, boom. And I hope you said thank you. That isn't it. Rook takes d5. Goodbye. That isn't it. Hanging all his coconuts. Goodbye. Good. Simple chess. Oh, that's a nice one. Okay. So why did white lose this game? Because he wasn't thinking. He just played super fast and then started just throwing his pieces at you. Right? So you're going to play, as you go up the cohorts, you'll play stronger players than this. Welcome to the dojo. This all looks pretty good. And yeah, I thought this was a good game. And this is the standard kind of opponent you're going to face at this level. Okay, great. Next up, we have Babak. Let's go over here, grad show. What does Babak say to us? Dojo 1.0, look at that, dude. Now, I'm going to say Babak is probably somebody who probably left the dojo and then came back. So his rating's amazing, by the way. He could graduate again if he wanted to. And let's just see what's going on. No clubs, no games. So I'm assuming Babak came back to us. And Babak, bro, welcome back to the dojo. Put a game in. Put some stuff over here on the heat map. All right. Habiki is in the chat. Yeah. That's right. You're absolutely right, Habiki. All right, let's continue. Bobby has got a bunch of different ratings. He is using his USCF, and that's looking pretty good. It's up to 986. Maybe just join the dojo. Well, he joined in February. Okay, no clubs, no games. So Bobby, we need some clubs. We need some games. Tell us about yourself. Do some work, and then you're going to graduate again soon by the looks of it. And then we'll look at some of your games and your work. Okay, next up we have Luke. Luke Burris. Is he famous? I don't know, but we're going to give him a follow anyway. And Luke is up there, 1034. So you're graduating out of the 1,000 cohorts. Beautiful. And this all looks great. Luke, do you got some clubs, bro? No. Luke, you got some games? So also, I don't know. I think one thing that generally happens when we run these promotions is we get people who come in and they hit the graduate button and they haven't really done anything yet. And then they usually fade away. Not necessarily the case that they're going to fade away, but they usually kind of fade away. We want them to stay. We're trying to make the site so cool that they will not leave. All right. So next up we have Augusto Yusupov. All right. Let's give him a follow. Also just joined very recently. Let's see some clubs. The European players. Nice. Okay. He's doing some nice work to begin with. No games. Okay. Maybe also somebody who joined with the promotion. Glad you're here, Augusto. You got a great last name, buddy. And yeah, we're going to hopefully see you again. Next up, we got Benjamin. Benjamin is doing loads of work. And yeah, this is not somebody who just joined. This is somebody who's been pushing it since the beginning of the year. Thank you, M. Maxing. Do that. That sounds right. So, Benjamin is doing great work. He has gained 233 points since joining the dojo. Got a beautiful tactics rating. His tactics rating suggests that he is going to be much higher soon. Clubs. Aus Deutschland. Great. Games. We got loads. And notice, as we go up, we're starting to get longer time controls. And here we got one that's 90. We got a couple that are 90-30. So I think I want to pick the one that looks like an OTB game. So let's click here with Benjamin. And it looks like what Benjamin did on the time graph is that he wrote down his times but not his opponents, which obviously your time is more important in terms of understanding what happened than your opponents, but you can write down the opponents as well. Oh, Jack, I have a feeling we're not going to see this beautiful time usage thing quite yet today. All right, so game review. And this is Benjamin. Oh, here we go. Never really know where to put the bishop, on b5 or c4. At where you're at, both are pretty good moves. Okay? Good. Poor. Why did he do it? Because they're terrified of knight g5. Now, when I say they're both good moves, it's important to see that at where you're at, your just opponents are not going to play the right moves. They're going to play things like h6, right? And so the main thing you want out of your openings is just a sense of understanding. So castle's fine. Okay, d3, good. And now I haven't looked to see what you did next, but I really want to stress this next one is a very important decision. Okay? And I'm actually very happy with what you did. And you thought forever on it. I wish you had said something about it. So you played correctamundo, bishop b5, exclam. And the reason this is strong is we really, really don't want to take on d5 for two reasons. One, this is our strong center pawn, but more importantly, we don't want to free this bishop, right? So great. Why is black's move a mistake? Because it's not developing. Good. And now you need a plan. You got several good moves. Let's see what you did. Good move. Okay. Queen e7 and now knight e5 and now f5. Beautiful. Beautiful. I really like this business you got going on. Castles. And now I like queen g3. It's going to get a little spicy. Good move. Good move. Good move. Rook f3. Why aren't we taking on e6? We just win everything, buddy. We're killing him. So here would be good to know how long you thought. But rook f3 is interesting. Yeah. He needs to do something like bishop d6. Knight d7. Bang, bang, bang. Beautiful. And what's so cool about this is you really have followed the principles of this opening. I did a course on this called The Aggressive Repertoire for White according to the Dojo, and you've just followed the principles, and it's so much more important than any theory bishmiri. You've opened the bishop. We're attacking the king. We want to push f5 so the rook gets involved. Good. And now bishop g7 is strong. Rook e1. Let me just show a standard trick here. Boom, boom. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. All right, rook e1. Check to the miserable. Bishop g5. Check to the miserable. Queen g7, exclam. Very nice, and he just resigns. Benjamin, great game. Beautiful game. And I like a lot of what you're doing. Let's go back and look. So you are playing longer games. You're playing some OTB games. You know, you're doing the work. So this is just a beautiful thing. And you've graduated a couple times too. So it's all coming together over there. Okay, beautiful. Let's go back. And we have another famous player here, David Ham. He's known as ChessDad. You can find his blog on Lichess. You can find, he did a perpetual chess podcast. So he's famous. He's famous all around the world. Famous all over. Okay, so here's David Ham. Bang. Right. And now David Ham, it's interesting. So I have a criticism of David, and he knows it, but I'm just going to tell it for the community. David is following, like, you know, he's obsessed with improvement. He's writing about improvement. But one of the things that he's doing wrong is it's a trap, really. And the trap is to think so much about how you can improve that you end up spending a lot of energy on that and doing various different resources. So I don't know what all programs David is on, but I just know he's on a lot. He's on all kinds of different websites doing stuff. And so he's on the dojo kind of half-heartedly. You can see he used to be logging his work religiously. And I'm pretty sure it's not like all these weeks that he didn't log anything. I'm pretty sure he was working. He was just doing all kinds of different stuff. So one of the things I would want to say about that is it's not that the dojo, I want to sell you on the fact that the dojo is the best program ever. But I do want to sell you on the fact, though I do believe it's true, I do want to sell you on the fact that choosing one program is very important and just sticking with it. Okay, great. This is beautiful, though. I'm inspired by David and his blog. And look at this. He made it to 1,000. I'm sure that was a very meaningful milestone for him. Not an easy task. So let's go see. He's got some clubs. He's in Denver. I didn't know he was in Denver. I'm part of that Denver dojo, or at least part of some thread, because I played a tournament in there ages ago. Over there. All right. So David doesn't have any new games. And I think that was, you can see that this is from the time when he was more active in doing the dojo program. Okay. Paralysis by analysis. That's right. Okay. He is improving, though. We can't give him too much smack. He didn't make it. David, give us a game, and we'll go over a game, you know. Give us a game. That was a new one. All right. Good to see you, David. We'll post to your blog, as we always do. Next up, we got Webb Smith. Websmith says, I love being presented with a broad array of specific tasks targeted at my level and great gamification. Problems. Problems? Question mark. I'm really underusing the offering here. For example, finding other players to soar with or play slow games. Just awkward, I guess. Also, don't feel like I understand everything that is available. And would love to know if there's an easy way to just access all things in one section. For example, memorize 5 games in a row or spar. Well, wait a second. Well, I have an answer for you, Websmith. Let's get into your profile. Oh, wait a second. I didn't want to do that. He wants to open a new link. There we go. So we can give Websmith a follow. And joined last year, but only started logging the work this last week. Let's just click around a little bit. So we got some clubs. 50 plus. Now somebody in the chat was like, where's my 50 plus people? Fauger's asking. Well, here we go. Here's Websmith. Here's Websmith. The crew is here. All right. Now what we want to do is we go training plan. And I did a video on this recently. We're calling this the algo or the taskmaster. And notice what it's doing. It is telling you precisely what to do. And I like what you're doing. Look at this. Boom. So I don't know if I'm interpreting correctly what you are saying, but what we found was before we had this beautiful algorithm thing telling you exactly what to do day for day, week for week. It was really this broad list of tasks, and people didn't have a clear regime to follow. They kind of had to pick and choose with the tasks. And here we're just telling you exactamundo what to do. Right? And you can also see on the right here that these buckets with the tactics and games and analysis, those are the ones that it's going to feed you most because you haven't done anything, right? So schedule your next classical game, very importante, right? And then, of course, you need to do some tactics. Okay, beautiful. Let's see. Do you have any games? We got one. It's a 15-10. This, by the way, is not long enough for your cohort, but we're going to take a look at it anyway. And we'll go mark reviewed. We'll see if we got some clock. Dang it. Jack's distracted. All right, look at the time graph real quick. Black is definitely moving too fast, and both sides kind of lose their mind at the end. Now, maybe someone's winning and they both don't care, but you can see at the end that they've stopped thinking. All right. Game review. Knight c3. Seelicki recommends c3. Okay, but knight c3 can't be wrong. Weird. Yeah, because you're pinning yourself. But okay. Boom. Boom. Okay, you're developing. And black's doing fine too. Okay. 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 Here, d5 from black would be good. His move isn't terrible. And I don't like, I guess maybe I could get behind it. It's a little weird to take that thing. g5, I don't like that one. a6, good move. A fair amount of time and not even in the top engine moves. Well, it's a weird move. Now, honestly, your position is a little bit difficult now because your bishop's about to get whacked with b5 and your knight on e2 isn't doing anything. So when we go back and say start here, your position's a little hard to play, okay? But we want to stress here it's not over yet. Castles. And now g4, I don't know. It's very frisky. But let's continue for a sec. Knight e2, maybe. Now d5 but d5 is strong here, so it's not great. If you were going to do this, I think probably something like queen g3 followed by h4, h5. It's not an easy life for anybody. And here I don't want you to take, because once you take, you can't do anything anymore. And now the knight can always go to f4. All right. Yeah. Good move. Probably a good move, knight f4. And now you played f3. The question, well, one bummer we should just note is on queen c5. He's got check to the miserable king and then rook c8 pinning us. Poor move. No reason for him to take. Look, what is that? What is that bishop doing? Yeah. When you criticize the move, you should also say what you think he should have done. Black moving too fast, didn't even really think about it. And I'm pretty sure what we can say is, Black is motivated by the fact that he's going to get isolated pawns to work with now. Right? Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. What would be a good move? Well, either rook c8 first or c4 directly and then rook c8. Kill. Go for the kill. Definitely you should play queen d3 here. We want a queen trade. I don't know about c4. It's interesting. d3. Oh, king b1. Okay, maybe. Maybe. I thought d3 was necessary. Now queen f2 looks a little bit unpleasant for a peasant. Okay. Okay. Rook d2 looked more to the point. Good move. Good move. Good move. Now, here's something I want to stress. What happens is, from here on out, the players both stop thinking, and they stop doing annotations. Usually this comes from a feeling from one or more of the players that the game is easy or the game is already decided. It's clear what is there to do. No, it's not. This is an amazingly complicated position. I don't know. I have no idea what's happening here. This is very complicated for me. Okay. I think black should consider f6 and h6. Bishop f8. Bishop d6. Good move. King b2. Okay. We needed to consider king a4 here. King a4, we're threatening king a5. If bishop c7, we can talk about knight c5. The variation continues. So the point is very simple. When we get to these endgames, you can't just play king c4 with 1 second. When you get to these endgames, you have to say, oh, this is going to be very complicated. This is going to be very complicated. Okay? And when you analyze the endgames afterwards, it will help you just become aware of how hard these positions are. All right, king c4 here. And now dude played king c6, and now something that's inexplicable. Why didn't we take the pawn on a6? What are we doing? Let's take the pawn, buddy. Maybe black and white thought that the knight was trapped. It's not trapped. And now I think white should just be winning. Slow it down, my friends. Slow it down. Now I don't know. Now who knows what's happening? Definitely on f4, you got to think about it. It's a big decision, buddy. And maybe black should just let you take. Oh, that was a bad move. King, that wasn't it. Now we're in trouble. King d4. Boom. Oh, king c4. I think we could talk about king e5. We needed to talk about some things there. All right, here's where they blitz it all out, and then white blundered it here. Okay, let's go back. So he does make a note later as if to suggest that this was all simple pimple. All right, so let's just say some obvious stuff. Here we should have analyzed king e5, king c4, king d6. We should analyze king b4 here. Now, is this winning? Well, probably, but we want to take a look. And now here, the simple pimple, you would think, would maybe be a move like king c5. And now we got to be thinking about king b6. Here's a really important variation. King b6, e5, here, 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 here. We're way soon. We got it. And notice he's talking about his excitement in the notes. Bouse, you had so much time left. So much time, Webb Smith. Okay, so I want you to see, this is something I stress every under 1,000 grad show. When you see other people doing this, such as Webb Smith, and you're on the show, you should not say, oh, I would never do that. You should say, oh, that's interesting that it's hard for these intelligent people to move slow, right? And you should say, oh, well, Cry maybe is right that this is a valuable skill that needs to be developed. Okay, so we got one more, and that is Strange Comfort, who has graduated muchos times. And Strange Comfort says, what a grind. I got within a couple point wins of breaking 1250 ChessCom, which is about 1,000 in our program, or 1,100, 3 times in the last 3 months before finally getting it done. At one point, I dropped 65 rating points after being 1 win away. But obviously, I stayed persistent. So here we are. I hired a coach about a month ago after my big drop in rating. It was so obvious what the main issue was. But I had tunnel vision, so it was nice having that outside input. My biggest issue was not taking enough time. It seems so basic. He's just repeating me. You just he's repeating me. It seems so basic, and having to hire a coach to point it out was probably unnecessary. I was doing puzzle after puzzle and just could not understand why I was not improving. But then it all clicked. It even leaked into my puzzle solving. I routinely played the first good-looking move I saw, thinking the pattern recognition would be enough. The puzzles have certainly helped, but only after I started to really calculate and sit on my hands more. One of the key thought processes my coach wanted me to do is think, quote, what is the most annoying move I can make for my opponent? Then, when I think I have found one, I have to ask, what is the most annoying move my opponent can play in response? This seemingly simple thought process has brought me here. Last comment. My coach recommended I start playing daily games. OTB is not really an option where I live, and it is extremely difficult to find a long enough time window to play online classical games between the jobs and kids, both of which are under 3. The daily games have given me the chance to think long and hard about a move without having to sit down for the whole game in one setting. I am positive this has been a huge part of my improvement. It feels so damn good to be able to press that graduate button. Cool. So, a couple things about this. For where you are in your situation, the time control isn't going to be that long yet. So it's not that big of a time commitment. And what I would really recommend is the tournaments that, well, maybe we'll go click around here and we'll see what's going on in a tournament you could play in. Because now you're in 1,000, 1,100. And I think there's a new time control at 1,000, 1,100. So we're going to go, before we look at your business here, we're going to go tournaments, round robin. And we're going to go to 1,000, 1,100. And so if you wanted to join, you would join this wait list here. And right where you are now, it's a 30-30 time control. So 1 to 2 hours for a game, maybe less, depending. And this is a beautiful thing where you will play dojo people. Now, also some famous dojo words. I just want to say, actually, let's just pause. This is amazing. We have 3 tournaments going in the 1,000 to 1,100 cohort. Amazing. With these tournaments, not going to be the cheaters. You aren't going to, you're going to have people who hopefully will take their time. You're going to be able to play against Jim off his bed. That guy's pretty cool. I like that. I just saw that at the corner of my eye. And these people will probably give you a post-mortem, at least if they're able to, right? Okay. So, beautiful thing. And I'll say this about the daily. I'm glad it's working out for you. The daily, it's what's weird is it's a different kind of pressure, but most importantly, you're going to run up against people who are using the openings database. There's so many people who do that daily who think that's acceptable. And of course, the cheaters. It's hard for the people not to look because they're curious. They're thinking about it all day long and be like, oh, maybe I'll just click that computer one time, you know? Okay, let's go back. So, full-time job in North Dakota. Okay. By the way, that's where Yermo is, or was, dude. Dang. And Yermo, dude, he's not doing good. I have a theory that I, or anyone with the right work ethic, can reach 2,000 USCF using the Michael de la Maza RCI method within 5 years. My main rating goal currently is 1,500 ChessCom by the end of 2025. Okay, time out. Let's Google this, dude. What? What is this, man? MCI? Hold on, let's just give this a quick Google over here. Bang. Rapid Chess Improvement by Michael de la Maza. And there's some Reddit thing. Okay. So what you can see here is that Strange Comfort is following a different program, but using the dojo to log his progress. And of course, I would want him to use the program. But like I said earlier about ChessDad, that it's better to choose some, if you if you didn't like the dojo program, it's better to choose some other one, even if this Michael de la Maza, even if I find it weird, right? And stick to that, to be religious about it. And what you're seeing with Strange Comfort, you can see it on his map there. He is totally committed to it, and that's a good thing. And also cool that he can use the dojo as a resource to do a different program, right? So that's super cool. And maybe we'll see more of that. Kostya had a talk with the people at Killer Chess Training, and they might be able to do, come in and use our site a little bit more systematically too. Okay, so my friends, this is the cycles of 7 circles. I don't know what that means, dude, but I'm going to learn about it after this stream is over. Oh, and Matt Chess is saying this is a precursor to Woodpecker. Okay, so I imagine if it's a Woodpecker thing, you go through these puzzles and you kind of go through them again and again. Okay, not ridiculous. So let's see, clubs. Maybe he's got a Michael de la Maza club. So Indiana, great. Though he's in North Dakota. Wildland Fire. Wow, that's kind of cool. All right, let's see, we got some games. We got loads. And we got a 15-10. You can see he's got a 45-0. That's acceptable to his time control, but then that was ages ago, so we're going to do this 15-10. Again, Strange Comfort, we want you to play longer time controls. And, oh, it's here, my friends, it's here. Okay, get in. Oh, it's a good thing it showed up before this went down. Now, let's take a look. Ah, this is super cool. So I've been talking about this for hours, and what we have in front of us is, hold on, Craig, get the time graph up. What we have in front of us is this is the beta. This is not officially released, and I have a feeling we're going to tinker with it some still. This is the beta time usage graph. And it's going to tell you what your time rating is for any given game. And then later, once you do more games, we're gonna give you an average. And this isn't there yet, but we're gonna then be able to say if you're moving too fast or too slow. My general take will be that the majority of players in the under 1,000 will have a little bunny next to them, an icon bunny, and that we'll see some players in the higher cohorts with a turtle, right? They're moving a little too slow. In general, at this cohort, it's rare that we see somebody moving too slow. So what we want to first say is in this game, Strange Comfort, even though it's a 15-10 game, had a rating of 2398, and his opponent had a rating of 1729. Now, this is very preliminary, and my own take on this is that this is still not quite correct because White moved way too fast to get a rating as high as 1729. So maybe we still have to dial it in, and I might have a chance to talk with Jack. It's a mathematical problem, basically. It is a mathematical problem. Yeah, so we're going to get into it with Jack. And yeah, great. Let's look at the game. We'll talk more about this later. I have a feeling we're going to have to tinker with it still a little bit. Okay, here we go. So, reasonable, reasonable. A little weird, poor. Why is it? It's not the end of the world, right? But it's not developing. Okay, wait, whoa, cry. Get back to it. Get back to it, buddy. Mamuxia, thank you for subscribing. All right, so. Queen e2, totally odd. What are you doing, buddy? You're blocking your bishop. Good move. Little funky. Let's play bishop d7. Okay. e4. Okay, that's a spicy move. But it looks like it loses a pawn. And now d takes e4. Knight takes e4 looks like a blunder because of queen d4. Uh-oh. f6, blunder. We got to play knight takes c3 there. Okay, knight e4. And now we are down like a lot of things. We're down a lot of things. So you're writing he could take on d5. He could do all kinds of things, honestly. He's up a piece. Okay. 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 That looks weird. Okay. Nice move. Okay, you set a trap and he fell for it. Notice that what White's problem here is he's up a piece and he needs to develop his coconuts. That's what he needs to do. What would be what should be his default? Something like bishop e2, bring this coconut out, put this one back. You know, he's winning. But he's obsessed with threats. And notice what he's doing. So he's going to dislocate his rook to go win the pawn. But even if we had played king f7, it's not clear what the rook is doing on g4. All right, so he falls for it. Good move. Good trick. Knight f5. That doesn't look right. Let's take on g2. Oh, yeah, you had the free pawn on g2. 16 seconds on rook e8. Thank you very much. Bishop d1, terrible. Just giving up all of his stuff. Looks reasonable. Good. Simple chess. Now b4, fine. ba3. Checkmate. So, Strange Comfort. Let's go ponder some of this stuff that you're talking about. So we have this RCI method. And one of the things that I just want to say that's obvious to my eyes is that I don't know anything about the RCI method. I'm going to look at it later, okay? But going over your games, and here you just have one, a 15-10 game, is really going to help you more than anything, okay? Playing the longer games, having some deep things. We could see in your game that you are playing fast and hanging a lot of stuff, right? And that can definitely be improved, right? Okay, so let me just read a little bit. This is for my own edification. The TLDR. Thank you, Reddit. I want a TLDR. There's a post here 5 years ago. Michael de la Maza's study plan, 400 points in 400 days. Is it bullshit? Has it ever worked for anyone you know? So here we go, TLDR. Some PhD student at MIT from the early 2000s claimed to have found the holy grail of chess improvement, and using his self-designed study plan, went from 1200 to 2000 USCF in 2 years before retiring from chess. I have attached links to part 1 and part 2 of his study plan here, but essentially he did a lot of chess vision exercises every day and then blitzed his way through 1,000 chess puzzles again and again until he could run through 1,000 puzzles in one day. Yes, very like Woodpecker. Then, with some careful thinking and some luck, he became an expert player. That was it. Was he a snake oil salesman? Has his study plan ever worked for anyone else? Yeah, so I mean, the obvious thing I will say is I think the Woodpecker method is kind of interesting. It gamifies it maybe a little bit. But it's only just for tactics. And one of the things we could see from Strange Comfort's situation is that the tactics, he needs a little bit more. A little bit more than the tactics. Actually, let's click into this game one more time. It feels like, I'm glad you turned me on to this, by the way. I feel like these weird things, I kind of want to be more aware of myself. So C4, not developing. Bishop G4 or E6. Queen E2. What you should say with Queen E2 is like, question mark. Terrible move. Terrible move. Knight H4. Now, the reason we don't want to play Bishop G6 is the knight on H4 is poor. So if you just go back to D7, the knight is a terrible piece and your bishop is developed. Okay, now it gets spicy. And here you're just moving way too fast here with knight takes E4. Because D takes E4 is the only move, and it's a very spicy position that results here. Okay? And then, yeah, this is all wrong here. F6, yeah, you got to play knight takes C3. And F6, it's like, what are we doing? Knight E4, you know, just hanging all of our coconuts. So, I'm really happy you're using the Dojo thing. I don't mind other people using it, but I just say the obvious is that the Woodpecker thing is fine for tactics, but that's just one part of your game. And the higher rated you get, the more important, let's call the strategic sides of the game will become, and the need to move more slowly. It is hard to move more slowly if you are continually playing faster time controls and don't go over your games. By going over your games, it's not just me telling you to move slowly. You will gain a good sense of, me and my opponents are generally moving too fast. Okay, everybody, that's it. I'm going to go work on this time graph. It still has a little bit of grief. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to get into it. And I'm going to raid somebody now. So, raid. And what do we got? Who do we know here? There's so many people out here. Let's raid somebody I don't know called GM Solver. I don't know this person. Let me just quickly check the YouTube if somebody's saying something. Matt Chess is looking forward to our new time graph. I have to be back tomorrow to do the stream where we do the over 1,000. It's a huge graduation day this week. And we're also going to do a stream tomorrow, like a ChessDojo 4.0 stream with David and Kostya. That's going to start at noon Eastern time. All right, everybody. Ciao, ciao.